Hello there, this is Flita Costa and welcome to another video. In today's video, we will see how I make a zigzag herringbone patchwork, and it's a huge patchwork and I hope you like it. Before we proceed, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Write your comments in the comment section. Share it with your crafty friends and somebody who collects scraps and somebody who likes crafting. And yes, let's begin the video. The measurement of each piece is 16 by 6. Now you can choose to have any size of rectangle provided all of them are same. Then I just kept the pieces on the bed just to see how much space each column will take, and accordingly I came to the conclusion that I need 5 columns and each column will have approximately 13 to 14 pairs of rectangles. Since these pieces were made as and when I got the red fabric, I have just put a piece on every one of them, and here I have 10 pieces of this. This is actually my dress, so old dress, so I have written studio dress, and there are 10 such rectangles with me. I have been collecting red fabrics since 2021 as I wanted this to be my Christmas quilt. That here I had a tone pants. It had red, white and black color. Since I saw the red, I collected it. This is my husband's shirt. Some materials which I managed to get and cut. I had another long fabric which I had bought when I was doing masks. This I will cut only if I need it, otherwise I will save it for the borders. I thought of giving this quilt an ombre effect, and therefore I have kept them in an order. I just kept the pieces in the way I will be stitching them so that I know how much space one column will need. Then I drew a similar structure on a piece of paper to see which part I have to stitch first, which will go second, etc. I have used green pen for the stitches, and I have also given their numbers to tell myself which stitch I have to do first. One thing that you have to keep in mind is that we always start stitching where we have an inverted V. We attach one arm to the other. According to my calculations, I realized that I'll need 5 set of columns, and therefore I have distributed these pieces in 5 equal blocks. We'll start stitching the first column. Lay out the arms of your inverted V. Won't be stitching throughout. As you can see in the diagram, I have marked half over there. So that half is for half inch not to be stitched. I'm using a back stitch almost everywhere to secure the stitch. Now pick the next piece and place it on the side where there is one joint. You can see a small zigzag forming over here. Remember to leave 1 inch unstitched. Once done stitching, you open up the new stitch that you formed and place the new piece against the new stitch, and then you continue the same way. Continuing in this manner, I finished the first column. The second column I shall show you with a high speed. At most of the places I'm not cutting out the thread. I just chain stitch and then cut out the thread with a thread cutter. I'm also using a back stitch at the end as well as the beginning so that the thread doesn't go off. Most of the fabrics used are cotton in nature except a few. So the few which were not purely cotton, I had to pin them up to make sure that they are aligned properly. That took a little of extra time, but it's all worth it. Every piece of this quilt has a story, from where it has come, how it reached me, and why I'm using it over here. For example, this is supposed to be my dress. This is my aunt's dress which she happened to burn while ironing it. So I used the umbrella part of the skirt for the quilt. Then I have my husband's shirt. This is supposed to be the part of a sleeve. This is my mother's leftover fabric from her dress. And this is a blouse piece which came on one of my saris. The close-up of the patchwork looks something like this. Once I was done with all the 5 columns, I laid all the columns on the floor to see how it looks. I want an ombre effect for this patchwork, so I will replace and exchange the columns as in how I want it. Once I was happy, I just marked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on each columns so that I know which one goes first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. I just marked at the top of the columns. First I'll be stitching the first and the second column, then the fourth and the fifth column, and then the third one. The first 2 columns I laid down on the bed to see how I should go about stitching them, and I realized that I have to start with a V, and as we discussed in the beginning, initial point of stitching has to be an inverted V and not a V. Therefore I had to turn it around. The top had to come at the bottom. So now we have to start with the dark side first and not the light one. At the dark side we have the inverted V. Now when we attach 2 columns, we have to make sure that we are attaching at the right place. Since it's a zigzag, it might be confusing. But one thing that you have to take care is that the bottom pieces of both the columns should be on the same side. That is, if on the left, then both should be on the left, and if on the right, then both should be on the right. Since for me they were not on the same side, I removed one piece from the first column so that both the end pieces are on the right. Now you can see that I have right pieces at the bottom for both my columns. And now we just have to start stitching. We'll start here when I'm pinning up. Now you just have to go stitching blindly. You can see that all the pieces fit into each other so beautifully. You don't even have to use your head for that. The 1 inch that we left unstitched is useful now. because that unstitched part will let you stitch both the columns beautifully at this point. The two columns stitched so far looks like this. So this piece I will just fold, and now I will start with the fourth and the fifth column. So again we start at the dark side. I quickly stitched that, and this is how it looks. Now is the time to combine the third column. The third column I will combine to the fourth and the fifth column attached. Now is the final part of attaching the two pieces which I have made. Starting at the dark side, here I faced a similar problem of the bottoms. So the first two columns had left piece as their bottom, and the right three pieces had the right side as their bottom. So I had to figure out how to go about it. To make things clear, I put everything on the floor so that it is clear and I understand how it's to be done. The three columns towards the left have left as its last piece, and the two pieces towards the right are having a right piece as their bottom piece. I will stitch everything first before I get rid of any piece. Zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. Oh, so I will stitch this to make it one single piece of patchwork. A little of close-up. So once it's ready, I again put it down on the floor. So right is down, left is down, left is down, left is down. So I'll get rid of these three lefts. 1, 2, 3. Now this is how the sides are looking, and this is how the bottom of the patchwork look. First we will make the sides straight, and in order to do that I will fold this patchwork to get the sides in the middle. The sides I will keep in such a way that both of them interlock in each other. The middle portion here has to be stitched like so. Zigzag, 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 etc. Since I have bigger rectangles and there are different types of fabrics involved, all small triangles are not of equal measure. But anyway, I will just cut it out. As you can see, I have laid it down and it looks like a rectangle. This is a tube in fact. So when I cut this side open, it's going to be opening into a bigger rectangular patchwork piece. I prefer the zigzag scissors, though it is difficult to use it sometimes on all types of fabrics because it doesn't fray the fabric much, and that's a very good sign. I have laid down the fabric now, actually on the last step. So now what I'll be doing
most of the pieces that I save for a
the right side
patchwork
inside.
I cut with zigzag
So
scissors
wherever
only.
I'm getting this edge,
Ta-da! Look at the sides. Nice and straight. That's your before and this is your after. We will work on the top and the bottom. Just like before, now also I will be folding the patchwork, the top and the bottom, in such a way that both of them fit into each other. I will just pin that side first. Similarly, I will pin another place where again there are stitches meeting, and this one. Till now I was not sure which side I should start stitching. So
when I was pinning up, I realized that I have to stitch this side first. The one side first. So one side first. So never mind, I pinned the other side, but I will stitch this side first. So this is how it looks after stitching it. This side, this is the side where I have stitched, and now I'm going to cut it along it.
and the final reveal. Oops. That's how small it looks once folded. How did you find this ombre themed zigzag herringbone patchwork? I am so in love with it. I had never thought I would be doing, or I could be doing, such a big patchwork. I'm super happy about it. But the quilt, I think I will need time. I won't be doing it right away because I need a break from huge projects. The dimensions of this quilt has come up to 8 feet 10 inches and 8 feet 4 inches on the other side. Please like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so that you are notified. And with this we conclude the video. Bye.